the game wasn't super PvM oriented. Like the PvM grinds were literally just to get like certain items,
Yep,
mainly to just grind Slayer more efficiently. Like just kind of what it felt like.
100%. That's what it was. Yeah.
It's so interesting how times have changed so much, and so much of the reason the times have changed and we've become more of like a PvM oriented game is simply because of weird, charming accidents, basically, that have been in the game, like red Xing and prayer flicking and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Rune light is a huge deal as well. Just being able to know where you are and stuff. Like the whole game has become completely mapped out. It's super PvM oriented, and back then, there's just nobody cared.
Yeah, the clients 100% changed so much. Clients are crazy. I remember back then, like looking at some of that stuff, I'm like, how is this allowed? And now, like, I like the menu swapping and all that stuff back then. I was like, bro, this has to be bannable. And then they came out and said, yeah, it's menu swaps on RuneLine. It's like, oh, okay. So you can technically do like a 2-to-1, but it's swapping menus.
Yeah, no, it's just everything's it's weird because everything really is just completely subjective. Like we as a community basically decide what the game is, so
Yep.
it's it is odd. I mean, do you remember? I don't know if you used AHK significantly during your skilling
No, I
grinds
never
back
did.
then.
I just used Windows mouse keys. Is the only thing I used.
Okay, but it's pretty much the same thing. Like you'd have like those little
Yeah, I was just scared of HK because everything around it.
well, before it was a bannable thing. I'm just
Oh, I didn't
surprised.
even really. I don't even think I really knew about it then.
I had tried it out a little bit, and it was definitely just like it was really nice for dropping. Like you had to, if you wanted to be efficient, for example, fishing, you literally had to do it
Yeah,
because manually dropping fish was just
it was
like
awful.
you
Yeah.
just can't. You're not gonna right click drop every fucking fish. It's just obnoxious.
That was the only thing I used Windows mouse keys for too. Like I just fishing was awful, bro. I remember seeing somebody set like I don't know who it was on Twitter, but somebody did like a 28-to-1 or something, like a 1-to-28. Like literally click one key and it drops their whole inventory.
Yep, I remember
I don't
that.
remember who that was. That was
I
crazy.
think I think it was trance music actually.
It's probably
I literally think I kind of the thing is I wasn't even around that. I was such a noob at that time, but there's still like little memory, and I wasn't on Twitter either. There's the little memories though that just I don't know, they're in my brain somehow. So interesting.
for the Vior rune crafting shower. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. What,
I'm pretty sure it's Vior, but he
what is
recorded
this?
himself. Like this was before they changed the on Zaya, the blood rune crafting. Like before you had to hop between pillars, so you could just sit on one pillar.
Oh
And
yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
yeah, so he
Jesus
sat on a pillar,
Christ,
he clicked it, and he went and took a shower, and the whole time it took him to fill up an inventory.
that is wild.
The video's probably still there somewhere. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was definitely a good update. You know, if you wanted to get like half your player base, you know, to shower, so it was a good little update, or half the skilling player base, I should say. Um, yeah, no, that was such a shit update, Zaya RC. Like,
Dude, the worst part. I'm just gonna touch back on OG Iron Man methods. Like, there's probably so many people that don't realize how awful Iron Man was. The start to grind, like it was terrible. It used to be kill 10k Zora for like 1.2 mil essence or whatever to do lava runes
mhm.
for 99 root crafting, and they told us they said you will need pure essence to be able to use blood runes on Zaya.
Yep.
So everyone grinded Zora, and then it came out that you didn't. Like I literally have like 750k essence and like 7k Zora kills in my Iron Man just sitting in my bank.
It's funny because that's exactly what they said about Guardians of the Rift. They said you would need your essence, and then as soon as it came
Dude,
out, you just don't need it. But
so bad.
it's funny because like definitely my mindset has changed drastically since those years. I mean, the game has changed so significantly. It's almost archaic to hold some views that I used to hold, which is, you know, that is just the nature of this game and the nature of
Yep.
just like getting older and not caring quite as much about certain things about the game. But definitely at the time, Zaya RC felt like such a downhill update. Like just like this is an update that is going just so against what the the quote unquote grind was back then, which is just like
Agreed.
yeah. To be honest, I think this is actually sort of a flawed attitude, but almost everybody that was outspoken about like certain updates actually followed this like line of thinking was the more tedious and just stupid and masochistic a grind is, that is like that is respectable basically, and like that's
Yeah.
what old school
People
should
wanted
be.
that game to be like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
everything has to be incredibly hard. If you don't want to do it, then don't
yeah,
do it. You're not going to get the level.
yeah. It's actually like really funny that, and that was totally acceptable. That's just the mindset we all had. Nowadays, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
just
You see anybody, bro, trying to change anything, and people just cook the shit out of them.
oh,
Like,
dude, you look
so
back at old
badly.
tweets. It's like Jesus Christ, we thought so differently back then. To be fair, we definitely didn't have as much of the new influx of players, which definitely has had, in my opinion, a healthy. Although there's other aspects. There's probably some things that aren't so great, but a lot of it is the kind of healthy revival of new players and other things that just have different sentiments on the game entirely. Because back then it was like you have all these like just elitists and people that have been
Yeah.
playing this game since
It was just
literal
all
age
display view.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we're all like so cemented in our ways, and so like finally after I feel like it was like mobile release especially, and
Yeah, I
just
was thinking that too. I think it's either mobile helped a lot. I think leagues brought a decent amount of people as well, like the first leagues.
yes, totally. And raids, I think just all the
Oh
new
yeah,
stuff that was coming out, Inferno, and
Inferno was definitely a huge rise in the game for sure.
yeah, because
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
at least like in my opinion nowadays, I am all about fun. Like there clearly has to be an I still care about integrity majorly in this game, but ultimately what matters is like what is gonna be fun. Like the last thing I want is an update. I always well I don't always bring up this example, but this is the perfect example of what not to introduce is like something like sulfur mining again. Like just some
Yeah, that
actual
is
just
awful.
toxic activity that literally has no silver lining. Like this is the fucking worst, and it's just to do the just number go up by doing the worst activity possible. Like, can we not go down that road again? Like
Honestly, the mini games they've been bringing up have been really good. Like I know some people don't like GOTR, but I think GOTR is amazing. I
it
love that mini game.
is. They nailed it. And the thing is,
Yeah, they
the
did.
same. I prefer Guardians of the Rift over Temperos, but both of them succeeded majorly in not just completely dominating the skill. Like Guardians of the Rift, I think is just slightly more in that favor of like you actually could just do Guardians of the Rift the entire way,
Mhm.
but ultimately like you get all these nice upgrades that make the rest of runecrafting feel great.
I've actually never done Thames.
I don't actually like normal mass Temperos worlds. I do like the solo firefighting method because it's the best for points and it's so precise. It's like you cook, what is it? It's like 17 fish, then 19 fish, then 19 fish, then you light the fires or
Interesting.
throw waters, and that is it repeatedly. Like so, me as slightly autistic probably is like I like that. I like being able to predictably like be like, okay, this is I don't want all the variables and the weird shit going on. Like just let
I
me
am 100% with you on that.
yeah, like I want that. So I like that. That was an amazing way to loot rewards. I love that.
Yeah, it is cool.
And you get fishing XP. And like, if you had like I think it's like a 2 tick fishing reward. So like, if you were to have 6,000 rewards built up, that's like a solid 2 hours of just sitting there.
Yeah, I watched Alkin do that, bro. He was sitting there for like 3 hours just looting. I'm like, dude, that's insane.
But yeah, no, they've done a great job really trying to nail down fun ultimately and trying to figure out like what about this game is fun. So
I feel like that's moved to like a lot more, like we were talking about, into PvM. Oh, like there's so much PvM content in this game. It's crazy compared to like what there used to be. We were talking about how it's just people doing stuff for Slayer.
yeah,
It's
no,
actually crazy how much PvM stuff is in this game.
it's so crazy, and you see like vast majority of players just want to kill shit. Like that's
Yep.
RuneScape now. It's just you just kill shit. And some like I had Matt K on the cast, and we talked about botting. Botting is one of those topics now that I just need to avoid because there's nothing I can do about it, and it's clear that there's bad incentives on Jagex's end to like obviously there's a monetary incentive to keep him around, but he literally says this, and I believe it for vast majority of players probably wouldn't want to pick flax or chop trees even if it was highly profitable. I think
Yeah, that is a really good point. Just adds more stuff into the game for people that don't have to do tedious stuff.
there is a group of people, I would say a way smaller portion, that actually would like to do really tedious things as long as it was worth it. Like me, like I wouldn't mind doing certain activities if it was worth it, but none of those activities are worth it. Like chopping yew trees is just the worst thing you could possibly do. It's just
Yeah, that's awful.
you make no money and it's horrible XP. So, but yeah, no, he just brought up the fact that like most people just want to kill shit. They want to log in for a few hours at night and just kill some stuff and have fun and not worry and have cheaper prices for resources and just so
Seen that through clan shits I've been into over the years. Just people always talking like, oh, I don't want to get 70 or I don't want to do this. I just and literally just want to kill things.
I have to see the game through that lens as well. Like ultimately, that's what most people want, and that's who Jagex is trying to listen to, the majority of the player base. So